Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. I'm a medical intuitive and an Epstein Barr virus expert. Chances are, if you are watching this video, that you have been diagnosed with Epstein Barr and you have been told there is no cure. It is true that there is no pharmaceutical cure to this virus, but it can absolutely be eradicated via nutrition. So I just want to explain about this virus today, and if this resonates with you, look in the description box below and feel free to contact me. I offer private sessions and I can help you eradicate this virus. This virus is basic. First, I want to just explain a little bit about the origin of this virus and the transmission. This virus has been around since the beginning of time, but it posed no threat until the day they invented antibiotics. This virus feeds and mutates on antibiotics. So ever since they invented antibiotics until today, the virus has mutated into more than 61 different strains. It's super easy to catch. It's spread via bodily fluids. And it's estimated now that every single person in the whole world has at least one strain. It was discovered in 1964 by two doctors called Epstein and Barr. It was an enormous discovery. It was a huge discovery, but there has been no further study on this virus because there is no pharmaceutical solution to it. So the strain they discovered is a strain that's causing mono. So if you've had mono, then you know you have the Epstein Barr virus. This virus is super easy to catch. It's spread via bodily fluid. Mono is also called the kissing disease. So it can easily be spread via kissing. If somebody's shedding the virus and you're kissing them and they have the virus, then you can pick it up. It's spread via bodily fluids, so it's also an STD. Nobody really talks about that, but it's spread via bodily fluid. So if somebody has the virus and you have unprotected sex, that's how you can pick up more strains of the virus. If a baby can catch the virus, if mom and dad has the virus at conception, if mom and dad has this virus living in their body, then the baby can be born with the virus. The baby comes in with whatever is in mom and dad's liver at conception, gets transferred to the baby's liver. So a baby can be born with it. So if the baby is born with lots of health problems like cancer and food intolerance or food allergy issues, it's born with the virus. It can still be eradicated through nutritional sources. It's also, you can get it through infected blood. So if you go out and eat, for example, and you eat at a restaurant and you eat uncooked food, salads and stuff like that, if somebody in the kitchen has the Epstein Barr virus and they cut their finger and they accidentally got one drop of blood on any of your food, guess what? Now you're picking up the strain too. So if you go out and eat cooked food. That's much safer. Hospitals do not screen for this virus. So if you need a blood transfusion, you're at risk for picking up another strain of the Epstein Barr virus. And even if they did test for the virus, they only have a test for the one that's causing mono. And chances are they don't test for it anyway. But if they did, it wouldn't matter because there's 60 other strains that they would never pick up. So if you do get a blood transfusion, if you ever had a blood transfusion, it's really important that you take measures to start eradicating this virus right away. Because chances are you will pick it up, since it's been estimated that every single person in the entire world has at least one strain. So obviously you can get it from sharing needles as well. The problem with this virus is that once you have been affected by or gotten it, once you have gotten it, even though if you get mono or some other flu or virus that comes in, you might feel ill for a little bit, and depending on how strong your immune system is, you'll recover. But just because you recover from the virus doesn't actually mean that the virus left your body. You feel better, but the virus will go to your liver and spleen. It'll take root and it'll live there, and it can lay there dormant for decades. And it travels during stressful times. It travels when you have stress, and it attacks you during stressful times. So you may not always feel the effects of this virus, but on and after stress, you might feel symptoms coming on, and that's why the virus traveled and attacked you. For a lot of women, it attacks in the thyroid. That's because you have nutrition. Most of us have nutritional deficiencies in the thyroid. All thyroid issues, including goiter, nodules, overactive, underactive, thyroid cancer, Graves' disease, Hashimoto's. It's all the Epstein Barr virus attacking your thyroid. You know, if you go to the doctor and you've been diagnosed with thyroid issues, it isn't that you're lacking thyroid medication. That's not the problem. No, the virus attacked your body. So the best way to eradicate it, again, is via nutrition. Because when you go to the doctor, they'll just tell you need medication, you have to be on it for the rest of your life. But that's not true. Some things that you might, some things you might have picked up over the years. There are symptoms, signs and symptoms that you have this virus. There are some of the different strains of it. So if you ever had tonsillitis, the true cause is Epstein Barr virus. It's the Epstein Barr virus attacking your tonsils. As I mentioned, mono is another strain. Hepatitis, all hepatitis strains are all the Epstein Barr virus attacking the liver. Ulcerative colitis is a strain of the Epstein Barr virus attacking the colon. Herpes virus, all herpes strains are Epstein Barr virus strains. So this is really important to know. There's 61 strains of the Epstein Barr virus. 31 of them are herpetic in nature. And there are several different herpetic strains. Like I mentioned, there's 31 of them are herpetic in strains, and some of them have rashes with them. Some of them have rashes on the genitals. Others have rashes on the mouth, you know, canker sores and mouth sores and stuff like that. And then there's many strains that actually have no rashing at all, so you wouldn't even know that you have a herpetic version of it. But that doesn't mean you don't have it. And the herpetic version of this virus is the one that's causing cancer. So if you have been diagnosed with cancer, you have a herpetic strain of this virus. Again, it can be eradicated via nutrition. Bell's palsy, if you ever had Bell's palsy, that is a strain of this virus. That is actually a herpetic strain of the virus. Chicken pox is another strain of the virus, a herpetic strain of the virus. Let's see, what else? This virus causes a food intolerance. This is so important to know. So many people suffer with a food intolerance. And, you know, I'm here to tell you, I know I'm going to blow you away right now, but there really actually isn't any such thing as a food intolerance. The virus feeds. It feeds on pork, dairy, gluten, and eggs. And that is the reason for a food intolerance. So if you have taken a food intolerance test, if you've taken a food intolerance test, chances are if you have gluten, dairy, pork, or eggs in your system, then it's just an indication that you have the Epstein Barr virus. And if you don't have any of those things in your system, it's obviously not going to show up on the test. And what happens is when you take these tests, other things will show up on the test as well. Whatever you had in your system, if you take a blood test, for example, whatever you have in your system within the last 20 days is what's going to show up on this test. So if you have gluten, dairy, pork, or eggs in your system, that's going to show up on this food intolerance test as something that you need to stay away from. In addition, if you have fruits or vegetables or any kind of other plant-based foods, that's also going to show up on this test most likely as something that you need, that you have an intolerance to, either mild, moderate, or severe, depending on when you ate it compared to when you took the test. So if the test comes back that you need to stay away from apples or whatever, any kind of fruit or any kind of vegetables, it actually doesn't mean that you have an intolerance to any kind of plant-based food. What it means, any kind of plant-based foods actually work to eradicate this virus. And when the virus is being killed off, it causes temporary inflammation in the blood. And that is what the test is picking up on. So when you get the test back and it tells you got to stay away from gluten, dairy, pork, and eggs, plus all these fruits and vegetables, think about it. If you stay away from all these fruits and vegetables, first of all, you can never heal from the virus. And second of all, you will eventually suffer with nutritional deficiencies because our bodies are designed by nature to run on nutrition from plant-based food. And if you take the test, the more you take the test, the more different things are going to show up that you need to stay away from. So that's the problem with that food intolerance test. I would say don't bother with the test. If you do bother with the test, and pork, dairy, gluten, or egg shows up, it's just basically a confirmation that you have the Epstein Barr virus. So it also causes chronic fatigue, insomnia, tingling and numbness in hands and feet, fibromyalgia. It causes all autoimmune diseases. There's more than 100 autoimmune diseases out there, and if you have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, chances are you've been told your body is attacking itself. Please know that there is absolutely no way your body is attacking itself. Your body is attacking the virus. It's in the fight of its life trying to attack the virus. It just needs some assistance from you and being given the right foods to be able to eradicate it. You know, but they tell you your body is attacking itself because they don't have the answers. They don't know what is causing it, so they put the blame back on you. And a lot of people are being told that you have an autoimmune disease, your body's attacking itself. If you try to eat a little bit better, chances are maybe you'll feel better. But you know, when they tell you your body's attacking itself, chances are for a lot of people, they go home and feel sorry for themselves, and they do not try to eat better. And even if you do try to eat better, you might feel a little bit better, but unless you take specific measures to eradicate the virus out of your liver where it's not taking root, you're really never gonna completely heal. You're still gonna be at risk every time you have stress because it travels during stress. So it can lay dormant in your liver for decades, and one day you have something stressful happens to you and the virus travels and attacks somewhere. It causes different things in different people. There are more than 100 different autoimmune diseases out there that, you know, they're happy to label for you. And a lot of people are suffering from, you know, 10 of these autoimmune diseases, you know, or so they're being told. You're not. You're just your body's just trying to fight off this virus. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, it's usually the Epstein Barr, caused by the Epstein Barr virus getting into the inner ear's nerve channel. Vertigo and Meniere's disease is caused by this virus. Infertility, it's huge. I can't even believe the problems people go through to try to get pregnant. Really, the first thing that should be looked at is the Epstein Barr virus, because if you don't eradicate it before you get pregnant, the baby will be born with a virus, and that can cause health problems. Even if the baby is born healthy, it will cause problems later in life because the child would eventually have stress in its life, and then it will pick up more health issues as well. It's also PCOS is the cause of this virus. Plantar fasciitis, 100% of all breast cancers and 98% of all other cancers is the root cause of this virus. All thyroid issues, insomnia, iron deficiency or anemia is due to this virus. Brain inflammation. Other symptoms that this virus can cause is anxiety, dizziness, chest pain. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. It's what everybody's suffering from. It's really important that we take steps to eradicate this virus. The first thing I will tell you, if you come to me and you start working on eradicating this virus, what's the point of eradicating the virus if you just go and accidentally kiss somebody else or walk into somebody else's bodily fluids and pick up another strain? The reason we're picking up these strains, more and more of these strains, is because the whole world as a collective has a zinc deficiency. Zinc has been depleted out of our soil, and so by extension our food supply. So it's really vital to our health that we supplement with zinc. 50 milligrams a day is ideal, and a lot of people, they tell me they cannot handle taking zinc. They don't feel good when they take zinc. The reason for that is zinc travels straight to the liver and spleen and starts to kill off the virus. So that's the reason why you may not feel good initially when you take zinc. So if that does happen, start with a lower dose and work your way up to 50 milligrams a day. And always be sure to take it with food. For some people, they feel okay as long as they take it with food. The thing to remember with zinc is that it's vitally important that you make sure that the zinc is plant-based and filler and additive free. If you end up taking synthetic zinc or zinc that has fillers and additives in it, the virus feeds on toxins as well. So then you're just feeding the virus instead, and you're just not doing yourself any good. So you can contact me if you need more information about that. My contact information is in the box below. If you have any questions and you want to heal from this virus, I would love to help you. Please contact me. My name is Ellen, and please like, share, and subscribe if this video resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you can heal.